All right, today we are going to break down ESPN's best destinations for NFL free agents. And they have the Lions on here. They have a free agent that makes the most sense to them and where he should go in order to thrive in his career. And I can't wait to show you who it is. Before we start, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get to it. So ESPN, again, like I said, came out with an article, talked about all these available NFL free agents, where they should go, where they'd fit best. This is who the Lions, or who they have the Lions fitting the best with. And that's Sidarius Smith. Yep, I know. It's a draining conversation, and you're going to see it again today, but I have a different angle to take on this, all right? And of course, you don't have to think too much if you're making these types of lists, and you're like, who fits with the Lions? Oh, the guy they're trying to re-sign, Sidarius Smith. And it reads here, let me read this. Lions took only one edge rusher in the 2025 NFL Draft, Boise State's Ahmed Hassanin, leaving a need for a veteran opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. So even though Detroit released Smith in March, bringing him back in another deal makes a lot of sense. Smith was productive after getting traded from Cleveland to Detroit before the deadline last season. In 8 games with the Lions, he had 4 sacks and 20 pressures. He's a speed-to-power rusher who can get interior one-on-ones as a stand-up nose tackle or 3-tech. That'd give Detroit's newest defensive coordinator, Calvin Shepard, more matchup ability up front. Now, what they are saying in the description is not wrong. They are spot on. I think everyone can agree how perfect of a fit Sidarius Smith would he'd be because he played here and was a great fit. But I do want to say this about the Detroit Lions defensive line, because I think the conversation around not only Sidarius, but the defensive line in general is, it gets a little exhausting. I understand that. But the reality of this whole conversation is this. If Sidarius Smith is a Detroit Lion by the season, when healthy, you have one of the best defensive lines in the entire league. Yes, I said it. If you have Sidarius Smith, a healthy Detroit Lions defensive line is one of the best defensive lines in the entire NFL. Aiden Hutchinson, who's favored to win Defensive Player of the Year. You have Sidarius Smith, who even at this age went for 10 sacks last year. You have Marcus Davenport, who can never stay healthy, but when healthy, is, I would say, he's a fine to good edge rusher. And then on top of that, you look on the interior. Aleem McNeil, who's a very good defensive tackle. And when he gets back this season, it'll take him some time, but you'll eventually see what the Lions see after they paid him, or they think they will see, which is a player that I think could be one of the best at his position. DJ Reader, who's a good defensive tackle, nose tackle. Tyleek, who I think has a massive upside. And then you keep going, right? You have Levi Onwuzurike, who had a pretty good year last year. They re-signed him. You have guys like Josh Pascal, a lot of depth there. Makai Wingo, who I think is going to shock some people. And then you have Hassanin, of course, the rookie who they took this year, who everyone's excited for, and rightfully so. But they have all these pieces. They have so many pieces on that defensive line. Now, the big thing is, without Sidarius, you move up Marcus Davenport. And then the question for his availability comes into play. How long will he actually play before he goes down? And then you're worried. And then if he does go down, which usually happens every year, you kind of lose out on that other side of Aiden, which you want stability with. And with Sidarius, you would have that stability. But that's really what I believe, guys. If you bring Sidarius here, bring him back, you are up there, in my opinion, on paper, as one of the best defensive lines, led by one of the best defensive players. How much better would that move and just having all those guys up front help Terron Arnold, Jack Campbell, DJ Reed, Brian Branch, Kirby, all those guys on the back end and in the middle of your defense and your offense and Calvin Shepard and the young guys like Ahmed, having a guy like Sidarius Smith there. It's awesome. And it does give you, I guess, it gives you more hope and more relief for Marcus Davenport staying healthy if you have a guy who can play snaps in replace of him, like Sidarius Smith. So I think this is very interesting. And leave your thoughts on this whole concept. Am I crazy for saying that? With Sidarius, they could be, or they will be, one of the best defensive lines when healthy. I believe it. I do. Comment down below. Leave your thoughts. We'll talk about it more tonight, 8 to 10 p.m. But until then, much love to you all. Peace. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.